Previously on Skyrim Rags to Riches, Olaf picked some cabbages, he bought some shoes, he killed some mud crabs, he cooked some venison, he took an axe but then left a cabbage as payment because he's not a thief. He chopped some wood, he bought a bow and some arrows, and then he tried to sneak into a giant's camp to steal a saber cat pelt. So I wasn't going to hang around in that giant camp now that this fella had been aggroed. So I figured if I just run really fast he might give up the ghost, but it turns out that they never lose aggro, no matter how far you run. So I ended up leading him all the way back to Whiterun. Then I had a brainwave that if town guards see him they'll attack, which they did, but they didn't seem to be doing much damage, so I just thought I might as well leg it back into Whiterun and just leave them to deal with it. They're probably fine. It all probably worked out really well. Day 5 of Olaf's journey to become the wealthiest man in Skyrim. Now, I headed off to Riverwood because I heard that there'd be a mine there full of ore that I could dig and turn into weapons to then sell. But the problem was the mine is full of hairy, angry bandits. So while I was in town, I ended up solving a little romantic issue for this feeble character here.
I appreciate your help.
And in exchange for helping him, he decided to join me. So I figured Olaf can't kill people or take part in quests, but it doesn't mean he can't hire other people to. So I got feeble basically to clear out this mine for me. He's pretty nifty with a dagger, and we managed to take out the guard at the entrance. I don't know whether that's morally right what I've done, but feeble didn't seem to mind, and those bandits were probably causing problems for Riverwood, so he's just helping out his community. And there was a giant chest in there, and Olaf almost died of excitement when he saw that. It had some gold and some gems in it, and I figured that they belonged to the bandits, so it was alright to take it. So I told feeble to go back home because Olaf's a lone wolf. Really, he doesn't need help from anyone apart from when people need murdered, which he will not do himself. So we got a bunch of ore, and then we headed back to the Sleeping Giant Inn for a nice night and a nice soft bed. Once again, we really must get a house soon because this is costing a lot of money. Now we start off by smelting the ore that we found in the mine outside Riverwood. You have to smelt it down into ingots to be able to craft stuff. But then we realised that we didn't have any leather because we've been selling our pelts. So we went back out to the plains around Whiterun and killed a bunch of elk, and getting a lot better with the bow now. And then we ended up with a massive pile of pelts that we could then take back to Whiterun to turn into useful leather straps that you can combine with iron ingots to create armour. Now, Olaf is not making the armour for himself because he can't wear heavy armour. He is a simple man, remember? So the idea is to sell them. So we made 4 iron helmets, then we flogged them to the guy inside War Maidens for a decent price, about 80 gold.
Good doing business with you.
Not as much as I expected, but considering all the supplies used to make it were free, scavenged from the land, that was pure profit. So pretty good job, I thought. Wheel of cheese to celebrate for dinner. Olaf's diet is primarily cheese based. Sometimes he'll eat a raw cabbage. Day 7, a Sunday, and whereas most people may rest on Sunday, Olaf does not, because he has a strong work ethic. The only thing I haven't tried to this point is alchemy. So they decided to head out into the woods, the forests around Riverwood, to pick up some alchemy ingredients. On the way, just tried a bit of fishing, but there's no fishing rod mechanic in Skyrim, so I had to just stand here and try and catch them as they jump past. And for some reason, when you catch them, they instantly turn into delicious salmon steaks, pre-cut, which makes no sense, but you know, this is the land of magic and dragons. So whilst out foraging, I came across this shrine of Talos and a lot of dead bodies, and I really shouldn't have come up here to investigate, because it could have been like a wolf or a bear or something, but you know, I couldn't resist. Olaf's curious. He's a curious man. He's unadventurous, but he will go snooping around. So there's a lot of dead Nords here. I decided to leave them, leave them in peace. But there was a Thalmor soldier, and Olaf is not a man of politics, but he does know that those guys are assholes, so he decided to take his gloves. I thought about taking the robes, but you know, what use does a hardy working man need for some magical robes? So I took the gloves, because you know, that's me sticking it to the man, to the Thalmor. So back to the Sleeping Giant Inn with the alchemy ingredients we collected, and as it turns out, Olaf is utterly useless at alchemy. Basically failed every time to make anything of use, apart from in one instance where I managed to make a potion, which I can then sell for a tiny profit. So it's safe to say that alchemy is not Olaf's calling. So we head back to the Bannered Mare in Whiterun, go to sleep for the night. So we decided it's time to get the hell out of Whiterun, otherwise we're going to be stuck here for the rest of our life, crafting helmets and shooting elk. So we hire Beorlim's carriage, who takes us to Markarth, because I figure there's a lot of countryside around Markarth, in an area called the Rift. Here is Markarth, an imposing, impressive city built by the dwarves apparently. Olaf doesn't care about that sort of thing. He doesn't care about history, he just wants to make a living. So we hunted some goats. The Rift, as it turns out, is pretty depressing, gloomy and dangerous, and full of angry, forsworn rebels. But while exploring, we came across this little clearing, and you know, there was no one around, there's no enemies, no people, so I figured I might as well go and investigate. But the goat there with its neck cut and all the blood lying around it was probably a clue that I shouldn't have gone in here. But you know, Olaf, as I said, he's a curious man, and he found a chest which had some gold in it and, you know, some decent stuff to sell. Great, looks like we got away with that one.